Time for another edition of See It Like Strev, and it's a little special edition sort of this time because Strev is fresh off a trip to the Dakota Dome. Your first, Chris, since your playing days, and I know the game didn't probably go like you were hoping it would go, but at the same time, I have to imagine it was good to be back in those friendly surroundings.
Man, it was so good to be back. Obviously not the game we wanted, but really cool to see the renovations they've done to the Dome. They've done such a good job making that a fun game day experience. Got to see some old friends, some people involved with the university, Sanford people, all that good stuff. So always good to be back home.
All right, well, let's get into the game now. And obviously, 37-3 is not what I think a lot of people expected for an outcome, but it is what it is at this point. And so we want to go back and take a look at a couple of things in particular. And we're going to focus on the quarterback spot because that's what you know best here. And Aiden Bauman has done a really good job protecting the football. And he was the victim of a couple of hard luck interceptions in this game. But what did you see here as you went back and looked at those two plays specifically?
Aiden really has done a great job taking care of the football this season. And so these two interceptions were kind of, like you said, tough luck plays. But I want to highlight what South Dakota State was doing throughout the day because they were playing a pretty unique defense. It was a 3-high look where it was either Tampa 2 or a cover 3 with a cloud into the boundary. And by cloud, I mean the corner will be low and the safety will go over the top. And essentially what that does, it takes away those quick free throws that you would throw to the single receiver on the backside of a 3-by-1 set. And that's kind of what they did throughout the day. But on the first interception, Yotes are driving down, 2-minute drive type of situation, and the Yotes come out, they run a 4 vertical scheme. The South Dakota State, they're running cover 3 buzz. So the safety drops down into the box, and now he's the hook defender. So it's actually one of the times they could have worked backside to the single receiver because they didn't really have him as double. But Aiden steps up in the pocket, starts to scramble. At that point, Martins is kind of stacked underneath the defender. The only thing, I would like to see Aiden do would potentially set his feet, put a little touch on the ball. But also, I do think Martins could have helped him out with the scramble drill piece of it, work into a little more green grass. But ultimately, ball gets tipped. It's an unfortunate play. And then getting into the second interception, we're into the fourth quarter. They're driving down again. And this time, South Dakota State's running a cover 3 fire zone. So it's still 3 guys deep, but this time there's only 3 guys underneath. And what that means from a schematics perspective is there's actually more gaps underneath, more holes, because when normal cover 3, there's usually 4 guys underneath. So there's only 3 guys underneath on this play, which means that there's a little bit more space to the field because they're still kind of doubling that backside, right? Taking away that number 1 single receiver. So there would be more space to the field. The Yotes are running a crosser with a go and a dig. A lot of teams call this a dagger concept. And I think there could have been an opportunity to work up to that outside receiver on the field, throwing the dig. But again, another ball that gets tipped. And look, at quarterback, things happen. It's about being able to bounce back, rebound every play, every game. So I'm excited to see how he bounces back this week in another big game.
Yeah, he hasn't had a lot of rough days. And that's the silver lining here for South Dakota is that this is the first time actually in his USD career, Aiden's USD career, that he's thrown 2 picks in a game. And he's still just thrown 4 total in 14 games, 13 of those starts. His TD to turnover ratio still 4-1. I think most coaches would take that any day out of their quarterback. And so brighter days certainly ahead than what we saw from Aiden Bauman last Saturday, but another big test for him coming up on the road this week against Southern Illinois. There weren't a lot of bright spots offensively, obviously, in a game where you only score 3 points, but certainly the use of tight end J.J. Galbreath was a little different. We've seen the production from this spot from number 82 all season long. He's among the league leaders in catches, yards, and receiving touchdowns for tight ends in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. But on this day, he was a very clear part of the game plan, and they established that right off the bat.
Yeah, I love what they did with Galbreath. And this is a guy we've highlighted a couple times in this segment, but he's really versatile within this offense. They like to get him the ball. They do some stuff blocking with him, sliding back across the line, blocking defensive ends in the run game. And even this game, they were able to get him a screen. So you could tell they made it a point to get him more involved. And it really came through big with, again, the way South Dakota State was playing. Very soft zone, 3 guys high, which left some space underneath. So some of those sit routes, quick little throws, that's where it's good for the tight end. He was able to catch those balls, big body, get downhill and get those yards after catch. And I think you said, 9 catches, career high. So I'm just really excited to see what they're going to continue to do with him. Like I said, threw him a screen pass, split him out a little bit, how he's going to continue to be more involved as this offense goes on. And, one of the few bright spots they had this weekend, but, he did some good things for him.
Yeah, he's certainly a weapon and a guy that's only going to get better in this offense while he continues to work with Josh Davis, a guy that, as the OC has certainly been willing to highlight him in different ways throughout the season. And this last week, they really called his number a lot. So interested to see how that those targets are continued to be divvied up going forward between him, Carter Bell, Jack Martins, and the rest of the guys in this offense. But again, tough day for the Yotes. It snaps their string of 6 straight wins, which was their longest winning streak since you were part of the program. So that's the unfortunate part here. But the good news is there's a lot of football to be played yet, and it starts this week at Southern Illinois. Big test here. If you want to bounce back, how about go get a top 10 win on the road, just like you did in Fargo a little over a month ago?
I think, look, everything's still out in front of this team, right? All their goals are still able to be accomplished. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the leaders within this locker room to step up and refocus the team and step up in what's going to be a tough game in a tough environment going to Southern Illinois. So I'm really, really excited to see how those leaders step up and how this team responds to some adversity that they haven't really had this season. It's going to be fun to watch.
And I look forward to breaking that one down with you next week here on See It Like Strev. But as always, Chris, thanks so much for your time. I look forward to our next conversation.
Appreciate you, Jay. It's always fun, man.